We're joined right now on RealAgriculture.com by Dave Dzisiak. He is with AgroSciences. Welcome today, Dave.
Hey, good morning.
Dave, what do you do at AgroSciences?
I'm the commercial leader for our grains and oils business here for AgroSciences in North America.
Okay.
And so the group that we work with, we're responsible for creating demand for the quality traits that we are producing in our oils platform and in our emerging grains platform.
Okay. So is the demand for omega-9 oil on the increase?
Yes, it certainly is. As you know, we grow canola oil because it's really consumed by the food industry. It's a great product with health and functional benefits. And health and wellness is one of the main drivers for the North American food industry. And so this product, sort of a right product at the right time, where we're helping give the food industry functional, healthier, great tasting oil solution for their ingredients.
So obviously consumers are a lot more interested in health. Your product obviously provides a healthier option. What's held the demand curve back?
Well, over the course of time, if you think back, say 30 years, the types of oils that consumers have used has changed a lot. If you go back into the 70s, early 80s, a lot of tropical oils like palm were used by the food industry. And then when the concerns about saturated oils arose, then there was a transition over to hydrogenated oils. And people thought it was a great solution. It worked well, it was very functional, it was inexpensive. But then what we found out was that the unintended consequence of hydrogenation was this thing called trans fats. And then during the course of the early 2000s, there was quite a concerted push to look for alternate solutions to hydrogenated oils. And so really what we did is change our Nextera oil to have different properties than commodity canola. And these different properties gave the functionality that the food industry needs for long shelf life, great taste, and also having good health properties so they can incorporate that into their food products.
So if we've got demand on the increase, that's fine. But then we maybe is supply an issue? Are we able to supply enough oil to the market to satisfy the demand?
Well, it depends how big the demand gets. The North American food industry is extremely large. In North America, we consume over 22 billion pounds of vegetable oil. And today in the U.S. or in North America, we consume about 3 billion pounds of canola. Now, canola is also the second largest oil used in the North American food industry. Now, having said that, there's a lot of different categories and segments within there. So canola is a very large supplier. And with the doubling of the crop in the last 5 years and with the doubling of crush capacity, we're in a great position to be able to step up and supply some of these large premier customers like a PepsiCo and become a important and it's really key on this topic to really be a reliable supplier to them for their products.
Yeah, so when we, I guess you mentioned the domestic crushing capacity. Canola is kind of a really cool story for Canadian farmers and the industry. The fact is that we have we're pushing over 18 million acres produced here, and then we've also, as you mentioned, doubled the domestic crushing capacity. What impact has that increase in the domestic crushing capacity had on the omega-9 market?
The expansion was kind of driven by a couple things, and so there's two key factors that really drove demand for canola crush capacity. And first thing was in 2005 when the food industry began to make a wholesale switch away from hydrogenated oil. And so hydrogenation, again, gives oil some functional properties that the industry needs for shelf life and stability. And so we were able to replace that hydrogenation function with our Nexera canola oil. The second thing was the increased demand for biofuels. And so that took a lot of soybean oil into that market segment. So there was a lot of demand for hydrogenated soybean oil. There was a shift in soybean oil use for biodiesel, and that created a need for a more functional food oil, and that's where Nexera fits. So we don't compete with regular canola. We're really providing a brand new oil that happens to come from canola that fits the needs. And so there is really a net need for more oil, and that's what kind of drove the overall expansion in acres and in crush.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for the time today, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again in the future.
Thanks very much, Sean.